Hello everyone, it's Stephanie, your CSA coach, and it is week 21 of our CSA shares. We have 24 weeks total, so make sure you continue to pick up through the 24 weeks. You also will continue to receive emails, so every Monday you receive your email with what we're getting in our shares and lots of important information. So take a look at that for the next few Mondays. This week, a couple of quick announcements. We have our garlic social still going on this week at the farm during pickup hours, today and Thursday. There's pumpkins for sale at the farm as well as other produce. So when you go to your pickup table, take a look to your left and there's a bunch of other produce that's available if you want to add that onto your share. Early bird registration will be happening soon, so refer to your email for details on that. But think about renewing early so that you get your extra bonuses and extra savings. We also are receiving a card with information on that at our pickups this week. And then finally, we have our big giant kohlrabi contest going on. So the kohlrabi is a variety of different sizes, but extra large this week. So in our Facebook group, we're gonna hold a contest to see who can get creative with their kohlrabi, what you can do with it, pictures that you take. So refer to the email for details on that, also on our Facebook group. But put your thinking caps on because there will be a winner that will receive a prize. So that's our kohlrabi contest. Jumping right into this week's share, we have some items that we've seen before, but we also have some new items. So we have our parsley. Parsley gets stored in the fridge in a glass jar. So I just fill the bottom of a glass jar with water. Make sure that water stays in there. So if the parsley lasts more than a week, I do need to refill that water. So I still have some from last week. I'm probably going to dry it. We did use some, but I didn't use the whole bunch. So get stored in the fridge in a glass jar with water. This can be used as a garnish. You can add it to sauces and dressings and marinades, anything that calls for fresh herbs. If something calls for dried parsley, typically your conversion is a teaspoon of dried parsley is equivalent to a tablespoon of finely chopped fresh parsley. So that's kind of the conversion. Fresh is always better than dried, but sometimes we don't have that available. If this is too much and you're not going to use it all, then think about either freezing it or it dehydrates really well. So you can dehydrate it in the microwave, you can dehydrate it in the oven, on the counter, or if you have a dehydrator. So that is our parsley. Really good with potatoes. So you could do like a parsley butter with your potatoes. You can, I think I'm probably going to dry it, but this possibly might be used in this week's recipe also. So that's our parsley. We have onions. We've been receiving our sweet onions for a while. These are stored in a cool, dry place. Onions can be used raw. They can be cooked. They can be roasted. They can be used in our grill packets. They can be used in our sheet pan meals. I've been trying to do a big sheet pan meal once a week because it kind of gives me a break and then leaves us with some leftovers that we can use throughout the week for lunches. You can pickle onions, you can thinly slice them and add them on top of your salad greens, which we've been doing. For some reason, I really like when they're super thinly sliced, and then they just kind of mix well with the salad greens. So those are our onions. You can also, if you've been accumulating onions, make a big batch of onion soup. Garlic. Garlic, as you all know, is one of my favorites. I add it to just about everything. This is also stored in a cool, dry place. It can be used raw. It can be roasted. You can use it I use it a lot in my sauces and my marinades, but also when I'm sauteing greens. I love garlicky greens, so I use it for that. It's our garlic. We have celeriac. Looks a little weird. You can soak it to get, it's pretty clean, but you can soak it and scrub it. Typically you peel it. It is stored in the fridge, in your crisper drawer, or in a plastic bag. It has a celery flavor, so it's really good in soups and stews. You can eat it raw. You peel it. You can roast it. You can saute it. You can do just about anything with it, but it has a celery flavor. So it's really good in terms of adding it to soups and stews if you're starting to do like bulk soups and stews and then freezing them so you have them. We have turnips. So first thing you want to do with the turnips is chop off the bottoms. Put the bottoms in one plastic bag or Ziploc bag, and then your turnip tops can be eaten. So we want to store them in a separate bag. Turnip tops, saute them. You can eat them raw. Sauteed greens are super easy. So any of our greens can just be simply, quickly sauteed with, I like to do a little bit of olive oil in my pan, some garlic and onion, saute the garlic and onion, then throw my greens in, do a quick mix until they're slightly wilted, and then pull them off and serve them warm. Super easy and good with any greens. So beet greens, turnip greens, kale, Swiss chard, anything you have, it's the same recipe. It's just a quick saute. They can also be added to soups, stews, and you can add them to salads. Bottoms. Turnips are really good roasted, so we're gonna scrub them down. They don't need to be peeled, just chop them up, throw them on a sheet pan, throw them in the oven and roast them. You can grill them, and you can also pickle them. They're really good pickled. And you can eat them raw, so I thinly slice them and sometimes throw them on salads as well. Okay, we have koginut squash. There are a bunch of recipes on the blog for koginut squash because I had fun with this last year. I'm pretty sure I'm using mine in a squash dip. So all of our squashes, it may not call for koginut squash, it may have honey nut squash or some other squash in it. They're interchangeable. The flavor is gonna be slightly different, but we can use one versus the other. The only thing that doesn't work for is spaghetti squash. So I know there's a pancake recipe on the blog, there's a dip recipe on the blog, there's actually a creamer, like a pumpkin creamer, but it's a squash creamer on the blog. So take a look at all of those recipes. But this gets stored in a cool, dry place. It will last for a while. We can slice it up, roast it, eat it just like that, which is the way we've been doing it in our family, just as a side. Or you can then take that roasted squash and puree it and use that puree in baked goods or in a lot of those recipes I just mentioned. So cool, dry place. We have broccoli raab. This is stored in a Debbie Meyer green bag or a Ziploc bag. Put it in the fridge. Once you're ready to use it, rinse it off. And then this is best with a quick saute. It doesn't take long to cook down. So the longer you cook it, it's gonna get mushy. You just wanna saute your garlic, saute your onion, get your oil good and hot, throw this in, and then do a quick mix. It should only take a couple minutes, and then it's good and ready to serve. It's full, all of our greens are full of so many amazing nutrients. So they're really good just served as sides. This is best cooked, so you can add it to soups and stews, but our favorite way is just to saute it as a side for dinner for a protein. You can also serve it with eggs and stuff like that. That's broccoli raab, one of my husband's favorites. We have carrots. So the carrots come with the carrot greens. We want to chop those off, store those separately, just like we do everything else. They can be used, so don't throw them away. And then store the bottoms separate. When you go to use the bottoms, you don't need to peel them. I just scrub them really good, get all of the dirt off, and then there's no reason to peel them like we do our grocery store carrots. You can if you want to, but you certainly don't have to. They're really good roasted. You can actually grill them. You can eat them raw. They're super sweet and super tender, so really, really good. Our tops you can make, I'm pretty sure on the blog I have a carrot top chimichurri, which is what I plan to do with the tops. Wash them really good, dry them really good, and then you can create some fun stuff with the carrot top. And you can actually add it to salads raw as well. It doesn't need to be cooked down or turned into anything. All right, 2 more items. We have sweet potatoes. We haven't had sweet potatoes in a number of years. I'm super excited to have these in the share this year. I really love the flavor of sweet potatoes. So these are stored just like regular potatoes in a cool, dry place, away from our onions and our garlic, not in the same bin as those. You can roast them. You can bake them. You can grill them. You can turn them once they're cooked into a lot of different things. So we can make like a whipped sweet potato with them. I'm going to work with these this week and see if I can create a fun recipe because I love sweet potatoes. So stay tuned for that. Not this week, but possibly next week because we should be seeing them. Then our kohlrabi. Kohlrabi gets stored in the fridge. This one is huge. I mean, I can cover my whole face basically. Remember that before you cut this up or do anything with it, to get creative and join the giant kohlrabi challenge. Take a picture, preferably with people in it, either your kids or yourself, or post that on our Facebook group, and then you can create with it. These will last a while. There are some amazing recipes on our blog. So I know I have like an apple and kohlrabi salad. There's a kohlrabi carpaccio on there, which is super yummy. Thinly slice the kohlrabi and then dress it. So that's on there. You can roast it. You can steam it. So it can be cooked. We tend to use it raw just because I like the crunch of it. And pairing it with apples. If you get the fruit share, we have a ton of apples in the fruit share this week, so that pairs really well. So that's our kohlrabi, and that is the rest of our share for this week. Again, it's week 21, so we have 3 more weeks after this week until our CSA shares are over for the season. So make sure you're continuing to pick up, stay in touch via the emails, stay tuned for more details on registration, and if you have time this week, stop and help our farmers by peeling garlic or separating garlic cloves. Not peeling them, separating the garlic cloves for planting for next season. If there's any questions, make sure you tag me in the Facebook group. If not, I will see you all again next Tuesday.